Cancer, gentle guardian of the heart's sacred space. Can you feel it? A truth that has been stirring in the quiet rooms of your soul, a gentle tide that your spirit has known long before your mind could find the words. There are times when the universe does not send its guidance as a booming voice from the heavens, but instead it places a whisper directly into your core. A feeling so deep, so certain it feels like the warmth of home. And this is the most sacred armor you will ever wear. This intuition is not an anxious thought or a fleeting mood. It is proof. It is the undeniable evidence that your spirit is tethered to the very heartbeat of the cosmos, to an ancient and nurturing source. It is your direct line to a realm of grace, a divine current that has never for a single moment left you to defend your heart alone. You are not simply a survivor of emotional storms, Cancer. You are one who has chosen to hold the sanctuary for the world, to remember the power of compassion that so many have forgotten. Your sensitivity is not a weakness. It is the luminous compass that proves you are connected to the source of all belonging. And the profound sense of protection you feel around you now, like an invisible embrace in a lonely hour, is the universe's clear and tender sign that you have never had to build your fortress by yourself. So retreat into that knowing. Let it shelter you. Trust that if you keep your soul anchored in this deep inner truth, no trespasser, no ghost from a painful past can ever truly breach the sacred walls of the light that you are. And as this feeling of profound validation settles over you, a single question may still echo in the quiet chambers of your heart. If these feelings are true, if this protection is real, why has your spirit felt so drained? Why has it felt as though your energy was being siphoned away, leaving you weary in your own home? Something has been happening just beyond the veil of your awareness, and the message that is unfolding here today will not just answer that question. It will illuminate the entire landscape, revealing a secret that will change the very way you see the burdens you have carried. To anchor this journey, we are taking together to affirm that you are ready to receive this clarity. Take a moment to place your heart into the safety of your own becoming. You might write in the comments below a simple and powerful declaration. My heart is a sovereign home, and I am its guardian. Let that be your intention, your sacred vow. And when you do seal it with a gentle act of gratitude by liking this video, sending a wave of this sanctuary to another Cancer soul who may be feeling this same pull, and subscribing to Zodiac of Mind as a quiet promise to yourself that you will continue to honor the whispers of your own heart. We do not walk this path alone. There is a reason you have felt an invisible drain, Cancer. A sense that your energy was being depleted even when you could not pinpoint the source. As we draw the curtain aside, the energy that reveals itself is one that speaks not of malice but of dependency. It speaks of an invisible cord, an energetic attachment that was not of your own choosing. You must understand, dear soul, that emotional hunger is a powerful force. It is born from the human heart, from a place of emptiness, of needing comfort, of an attachment so deep it becomes a need to take. And the truth that is rising to the surface now is this: someone has been using your light as their shelter. They could not generate their own warmth. They could not bear to face their own emptiness, because your compassion, your peace, your very essence was a home they desperately needed but could not build within themselves. And so, in a moment of spiritual neediness, they took up residence in your energy, not by force, but by a quiet, persistent drawing from your well. They spoke your name in their moments of need, hoping to create a bond, to pull a thread of your nurturing energy toward them, believing that by connecting to your essence, they might somehow feel whole. But hear this with your entire being, Cancer. No one can live rent-free in a soul that is held by divine grace. Those invisible dependencies only feel draining when you forget that the key to your own sanctuary has been in your pocket all along. You may have felt this in your life. A perpetual exhaustion you could not explain. A feeling of being responsible for another's happiness. A subtle anxiety that made your own home feel less like a refuge. None of that was a sign of your weakness. It was the evidence that you were standing in an energetic space where another's need was attempting to make you its source. And perhaps the universe allows these moments not to break you, but to awaken you. to help you finally discern the difference between true reciprocal nurturing and a dependency that wears the disguise of love. It is here to teach you the most profound lesson that love never drains. It is the gentle flowing of a river between two shores, giving and receiving. And if anyone has tried to make your heart their sole refuge, that was never love. It was their need. It was their emptiness calling out to your light. Take a gentle breath, Cancer, and ask your heart this question. How many times have you felt inexplicably responsible for someone else's emotional state, as if you could not rest until they were at peace? How often have you stayed in relationships, in friendships, in dynamics that left you feeling hollowed out? Those were the invisible cords. Energetic ties born of another's inability to self-soothe of their fear of being alone, or perhaps even a misguided attachment from a soul who was too afraid to let you grow beyond them. But here is the truth you must now engrave upon your heart. The very moment someone tries to make you their sole source, they unwittingly summon the universe as their witness. And the universe does not support imbalance. It does not answer to codependency. That very act of drawing from you was the catalyst for your liberation. It activated the divine protection that has been surrounding you all along. They thought they were finding shelter, but in truth, they opened the very door for your soul to finally reclaim its home. This is your moment of choice. It is a sacred threshold. Will you continue to leave the door to your heart unlocked, allowing the energetic weight of another's need to drain you? Or will you dare to step forward to trust the whisper of your own intuition to claim the peace that is your birthright? The energy that has been revealed is not your burden. It is a mirror showing you precisely what you are now ready to release. And once you have truly seen it, you can no longer pretend it is not there. Remember this, Cancer, no dependency can exist once you recognize the power you hold. The universe placed the key to your own home in your hand the moment you were born. And today, through this message, that same universe is whispering with profound tenderness. Turn the key. Lock the door to what drains you. You no longer belong to the story of someone else's healing. And in this release, there is a gentle call for grace. You may forgive the soul who drew from you, but forgiveness does not mean reopening the well. You may feel a wave of compassion for the emptiness that drove them to such an act, but compassion does not mean allowing them to continue taking from your energy. Forgiveness is for you. It is the act of reclaiming your own resources so that you may walk forward with a full heart, no longer carrying the weight of another's needs. Look deep inside, gentle Cancer, and acknowledge the truth that has been waiting there. You already know who this is. You have felt their presence in your weary moments. You have seen the signs, the patterns that made you pause. And now the universe is simply confirming what your intuition has known all along. That feeling was real, but you are not to be afraid. Because in the very same moment you are being drained in the shadows, you are also being called by name into your own light. Take a deep, cleansing breath with me now. Imagine before you stands a beautiful, sturdy door shimmering with a soft mother of pearl light. Behind you, the echoes of the past try to pull at you, whispering old obligations and guilts. But in your hand, you can feel the gentle, certain weight of a key. You do not have to force it. You simply turn it. And as the door closes with a soft final click, a sense of profound peace washes over you. In this sacred silence, the invisible cords, the energetic tethers, they do not break. They simply fall away. They dissolve into the light as if they were never there at all. This is the truth that has been waiting for you, Cancer. The time has come to be whole. And once you stand inside the sanctuary of your own heart, you will not be the same person you were before. You will be stronger. You will be clearer. You will be at peace. And this is only the beginning. For each time an old attachment dissolves, something sacred is ready to be born in its place. You may feel a slight ache in your heart as this truth settles, Cancer, as if you are just now realizing the depth of the energy that was given away in a story that was not your own. But this is the sacred moment to turn the page, to open a new chapter where you and you alone decide who is worthy of entering your sacred space. And that is the essence of what is being offered to you now, the ritual of reclaiming your heart not as a shelter for others, but as a sovereign home for your own soul. Close your eyes for just a moment if it feels safe to do so. Let your breath soften. Imagine before you, in the quiet sanctuary of your own mind, the threshold of your own heart. It is not a fragile open space, but a beautiful, protected home glowing with a gentle warmth that soothes your very being. This home belongs to no one else. It cannot be invaded, it cannot be claimed, and its peace cannot be disturbed by another's turmoil. This is the home of your soul's journey, the sacred dwelling that the universe built for you at the moment of your birth, and only you hold the divine right to its keys. Cancer, you have nurtured so much. You have walked through years where others left their emotional baggage in your halls. Sometimes these imprints were made with love, but other times with need. Sometimes they were born of a dependency you could never quite heal for them. But from this moment forward, you no longer need to carry those energetic remnants. This is your time to take up the keys of light and reclaim your home with the truth of who you have always been. Picture yourself now holding a key that seems to be crafted from liquid moonlight. As you place it in the lock of your own heart, you turn it. With a gentle click, a radiant light floods the space, filling every corner and forcing all old, lingering energies to gently dissolve. When the door is secure, you can feel it in your bones. This is a declaration, a sacred decree. It says, "My heart belongs to me. I am a child of the universe. I am protected, I am centered, and I am whole." Perhaps a small fear rises within you, a whisper from the old story. But is it selfish to protect myself? Am I worthy of my own peace? And the answer from the deepest part of your being is a resonant, gentle yes. For even if your hand trembles, as you turn the key, feel a greater hand resting gently upon yours, guiding your actions with love and certainty. You are not performing this rite alone. Your ancestors, your guides, the very energy of divine love stand as sentinels around you, their light enfolding you like a warm embrace. And your soul, which may have once felt weary or depleted, now begins to hum a quiet melody of peace. Let each breath you take be an affirmation of this new truth. Let each beat of your heart seal this declaration within your walls. Act with a spirit of gratitude. Gratitude for the lessons, as painful as they may have been, for they are what brought you to this sacred threshold of self-love. Act with a spirit of forgiveness, for in forgiving your heart becomes light, no longer bearing the weight of another's emotional burdens. And most of all, act with a spirit of love, a profound and unconditional love for yourself, for the beautiful, resilient soul that you are. Love for the peace you are now stepping into, and love for the divine path that has always been arranged for you, even when you could not see it. This is not a mere fantasy, Cancer. This is the truth of your soul's power. You are reclaiming the narrative of your own life, a space where no one can drain your energy, where only love and freedom can dwell. And as your heart shines safely within its home, you will feel the burdens begin to lift. You will feel the old dependencies dissolve. Let this sacred ritual be your vow. From this day forward, you will no longer allow others to define you by what you can give them. You will no longer let the needs of the past keep you captive. You are the key. You are the guardian of your next chapter. And you rule with light, with faith, and with an unshakable divine love. Whisper it to yourself now, in the quiet of your heart. I am peace. I am love. I am the sanctuary the universe named me to be. I reclaim my home with my own hand. And when you open your eyes, the world outside may not have changed in an instant, but within you a shift has occurred deep and irreversible. You have come home, and this is only the beginning of the story. For after you reclaim your heart in the light, a greater question awaits. What will unfold as you step into this entirely new chapter? Who will appear on your path, and what sacred gift will be offered to you now that you are ready to receive? Remember that the universe never removes something without having something more beautiful ready to take its place. The journey we have taken so far was not meant to make you bitter, Cancer. It was meant to give you the key, to offer you the chance to secure a door that has always been waiting for you. Someone's misguided need drew from your well, but that very act rang the bell of your great awakening. Your heart was not captured. It was being called forth, summoned to be reclaimed. All those haunting feelings of exhaustion were merely an invitation from the universe to see more clearly, to reclaim the sovereign power that has always been yours. I believe with my whole soul that in those moments when it felt like your energy was being taken in the dark, you were in truth being called by the divine into a greater light. When the universe knocks on the door of your heart, it is not a random act of fate. It is a tender arrangement, a hidden hand gently guiding you to the place that resonates most deeply with your healed soul. So do not let fear keep you locked inside. Let faith lead the way. Let your intuition, that sacred compass placed in your heart at birth, show you who is safe to let in. Do not fear the needs of others. They do not decide your destiny. The sanctuary of your own heart is where your true peace belongs. Let go of the responsibility. Forgive yourself for giving too much for too long, and trust that each step you take out of codependency brings you into a larger, warmer, and more gentle embrace, full of grace. Perhaps you have whispered into the silence, if they truly valued me, why did they take so much? If they still remembered, why was there no apology? Yet the deeper truth is something your heart is now ready to hear. For a certain soul on their own journey, your heart was the only home they had ever known. You were the only warmth that kept them from collapsing in their own sea of fear. Their silence was not an act of malice toward you, but a necessary exile to prepare for the day they could return to you, with a heart that finally understood the true sacred value of a home. In that silence, it was not only they who were growing, it was you. You have walked through countless long days with no recognition and long nights filled with quiet hurt. And in that stillness, you learned to hear the universe's voice more clearly. You learned to stand firm in the very light that was kindled in your own heart. And that light, Cancer, was not only strong enough to keep you whole, it was also the beacon that is now guiding them back, now that their own path is finally leading them home. Loneliness has never been an easy journey, but it is the very thing that forged your heart into a lighthouse. And once a heart learns to shine from within its own being, that light becomes stronger than any storm. You thought you were giving in vain, but in truth your invisible presence became the very reason they kept going, the reason they did not surrender to their own inner turmoil. You were never taken for granted, Cancer. You were the home they longed for in their darkest night. And the time is now approaching when that light will compel them to face their own truth, when their soul must finally make a decision that can no longer be delayed. There is a moment in every soul's journey that cannot be escaped forever. It is a moment of sacred truth, when a trumpet call seems to sound from the heavens, forcing all that is hidden into the light, compelling what was buried in silence to finally be spoken aloud. They have been running long enough using distance and silence as walls to conceal a feeling in their heart that they never truly honored. But the day is coming, and it is coming soon, when it will no longer be their choice to remain hidden. The universe in its infinite wisdom will place them before you, and the truth will be revealed. I do not believe that the universe allows truth to be buried forever. The words that were left unsaid, the gratitude that was never expressed, the long nights they spent, realizing what they'd lost, all of it must one day be released. And when it happens, it will not be a hurried text message or a clumsy excuse. It will be a confession that rises directly from the soul, from a place where no lie can live. You have waited so long for this clarity, Cancer. And then they will finally speak the words they never dared to utter before, that taking you for granted was their greatest mistake. That moment may make your heart tremble. It may awaken old wounds you thought had long since healed. But remember this time, you are not the one hoping for recognition. You are not the one standing in the shadows waiting to be seen. You are the one who now holds the gentle power to decide. This is the profound human lesson. This moment of truth brings the choice to forgive, the choice to release, the choice to open the door again, or to close it with love. The power no longer lies in their hands. It rests in your heart, which is now stronger, wiser, and more whole than it has ever been. The truth is being revealed not to chain you to the past, but to finally set you free so you can walk into your next chapter with or without them. You may open your heart to allow that love a sacred rebirth, or you may smile softly with compassion and let the past return to where it belongs. But whatever you choose, this moment of truth ensures that your decision will be an act of liberation. It is a threshold into living fully and authentically in your own light. This is not just a moment of confession, it is a moment of illumination for both of you. The truth will touch your heart not to imprison it, but to hand you the final key to your own freedom. And in that shimmering light, a sacred promise of true soul love begins to hum, a sign that what awaits you now is far greater, far more peaceful than anything you once thought you lost. There are rare and sacred moments in this life, Cancer, when you feel that your soul is not just living for itself, but is whispering across time and space to call another soul home. That is the feeling that arrives when the energy of two souls truly meant to connect begins to align. This is not by chance, not by a card falling at random from a deck, but as a sacred seal, a promise that two souls who once recognized each other, who once found a home in each other, are now being given the divine opportunity to meet again. When you feel this energy, you are not just seeing two people. You are seeing two souls reflecting one another, a mirror of divine connection. This speaks not of a shallow romance of fleeting dates or fragile affections. It recalls a love that was planted long ago in a soil deeper than this lifetime, where two spirits can see each other completely without pretense, without hiding. That is why you have felt that something was left unfinished, something that could not simply vanish with time or distance. Because a love that is written in the stars is not meant to disappear. I believe that the love the universe intends for you never comes to imprison. It does not arrive to bind you in a heavy bond of obligation. It does not demand that you beg for it or trade your peace for its presence. True divine love comes to free you. It comes to heal you. It teaches you to gently release what is not yours to carry and to hold with grace what truly nourishes your soul. If someone returns to your life, not to take from you, but to build a home beside you as an equal, as a partner in light, that is the love the universe has always intended for you. You may have loved with everything you had in the past, only to feel drained, only to feel that you were the one who always gave more and never received in kind. But this new energy is arriving now to remind you with profound tenderness that you are worthy of a love where you do not have to plead. A love where you are seen, honored, and cherished exactly as you are. A love where you never have to prove your worth, because that worth was etched by the divine into your soul at the moment of your birth. That sacred flame within you never died, Cancer. It only waited. It waited for you to arrive at this new place of maturity and wholeness. You are no longer the version of yourself who felt broken. You are not the one who collapsed in the silence, or the one who chased love to fill an inner emptiness. You have walked the sacred journey of silence, of loss, and of profound awakening. And now you are a soul strong enough to love without losing yourself in the process. Standing at this threshold of soul love, you will know this truth in every fiber of your being. True love never asks you to shrink your light to fit inside someone else's shadow. It invites you to shine as brightly as you can, and it invites them to step into that light with you. Imagine for a moment, Cancer, this person who has long carried the image of you in their heart. They may have walked other crossroads, sought comfort in other arms, but nowhere did they find the feeling of home they felt with you. In the silence, they still heard your voice. Across the distance, they still dreamed of you. And now the universe itself is shifting to allow their soul to touch yours once more, to see if that sacred love still lives, and to see if you are now strong enough to open your heart to it anew. There is something you must understand. This love is not returning to make you fragile again. It is returning to test the very strength you have so beautifully forged within yourself. It returns to ask you one gentle question: will you dare to love again? But this time from a place of maturity, of deep self-respect, of sacred sovereign light. This is your chance to love, not as one who is lacking, but as a soul who is already whole. The lesson here is so clear. You no longer have to sit by the window waiting for recognition, for a pitying glance, or for borrowed attention. You are worthy of a love where both souls offer each other the very best of who they are, where you enter as a monarch, a guardian of light seen for the magnificent being you have become. This is not a love that asks you to kneel, but a love that lifts you up so you can stand even taller. Feel this, Cancer. If they return not to take from you, but to build a new illuminated home with you, that is the love that is destined for you. But if they return still carrying the old burdens, the same needs, the same invisible cords, you now have the clarity and the right to close that door with gratitude, but without a single shred of regret. For you have finally learned that true love never comes to steal your light, it comes to multiply it. That flame has never gone out, Cancer. It has only been waiting for you to step forward from a place of true maturity. And perhaps, even in this very moment, your soul can hear a distant calling like a soft bell in the night, reminding you that something beautiful is about to unfold. A reunion, a reconnection, a truth that can no longer be denied. But be gentle with your heart, for as you near the threshold of this beautiful love, the final echoes of darkness will try to test you. They will test you with old doubts, with painful memories, with lies that may rise like ghosts from the past. And you must remember that the universe has placed a perfect compass in your heart, your intuition, and it never lies. Do you dare to trust that intuition enough to know which love is real and which is just an illusion? Do you dare to enter a new love not from a place of fear, but from the unshakable belief that you are worthy of everything beautiful? This is the question that is laid before you now. And when you answer it from the truth of your healed heart, Cancer, you will see with perfect clarity. Soul love never vanished. It was simply waiting for two lamps to burn bright enough, not only to guide one another through the darkness, but to shine together into a brilliant new dawn. You have touched the doorway of a soul love that opens as gently as a promise. But before you can fully step into that beautiful light, the final shadows will come to test your readiness. And that darkness has a name. It is the mist of illusion. It arrives not to frighten you, not to tell you that what you are feeling is wrong. It rises like the soft moon in the night sky, your celestial ruler, a mirror revealing what still lies deep within you. Old fears, lingering suspicions, wounds that have not yet been fully healed. You may see a familiar image in that dim glow and not know if it is real or merely a reflection of your past. And that, Cancer, is the final sacred challenge. Be honest with your own heart. How many times have you mistaken a beautiful illusion for a lasting truth? How many times have you believed sweet promises only to be handed the ache of disappointment? How many times have you trusted a light that turned out to be a deceitful lamp, leading you only deeper into darkness? This final test is here to remind you that this time you must choose a different path. You cannot listen with your ears alone or see with your eyes alone. You must heed the wisdom of your heart. You must listen to your intuition, that precious gift from the universe that serves as your unfailing guide. I believe intuition never lies. It is the deep, unbreakable connection between your soul and the creator of all things. When someone returns to you, they will not need to persuade you with 1,000 words. A single look, a moment of shared silence, will be enough for your soul to know if their energy is true or false. And that deep inner knowing will become the measure for every decision you are about to make. This trial is here to teach you a priceless human lesson. Not everything you yearn for is meant to be kept. Not every apology is meant to lead to a reunion. And not everyone who comes back deserves entry into the sacred temple of your soul. This test comes so that you may finally recognize that you are no longer the person who overgave and broke. You have moved beyond that story. Now you can stand in the quiet moonlight, look steadily at any illusion, and still keep the lamp of your own being lit. Remember this, Cancer. The shadows are only strong while you fear them. Once you know with unshakable certainty that the true light resides within you, the moonlight will become your companion. It will no longer lead you into dead ends, but will serve as a beautiful mirror, revealing the truth that lies beneath the surface. And in the very moment you overcome that final test of darkness, something magnificent will happen. The sun will begin to rise. The sun is the universe's greatest blessing. It brings not only light, but life, joy, and a profound clarity. If the moon made you question, the sun restores your certainty. It illuminates everything that was once vague and lays bare all that was hidden. And when that brilliant warm sun touches your heart, you will feel a freedom you have never known before. You have walked through a long, long night, Cancer. You have carried questions without answers and wounds that seemed as if they would never end. But the sun is arriving to remind you that you no longer need to walk in darkness. A new cycle has opened for you, and you are not only healed, you are reborn in the brilliance of your own light. I believe the universe has been keeping this sunrise for you even in the moments when you thought the night had swallowed every last hope. That light does not come from outside of you. It rises from within, and therefore, no one can ever take it away from you again. If someone returns and is willing and able to walk with you under that brilliant light, then that will be a true soul-aligned love. But if no one dares to walk beside you, you will still move forward shining, because the sun proves that you are never ever alone. The sun carries a profound human teaching. True joy does not come from having someone else love you. It comes from daring to love yourself completely and living in alignment with the truth of who you are. Only when you can stand fully in your own light can you truly share it with another. Only then can love become a beautiful resonance rather than a binding obligation. Imagine this moment with me, Cancer. You are standing in a wide open field. The brilliant morning sun is on your face, cleansing away every lingering shadow from the past. You feel your heart become light, freed from all the old burdens. And in that perfect clarity, you realize a simple, powerful truth: you are finally ready for a love that is no longer born of fear, but of absolute freedom. And as the sun's light bathes you in its warmth, a new door opens before you. But to cross this final threshold, you must accept one unavoidable sacred fact: the old must be allowed to fall away to make space for the new. And in that instant, an energy of profound transformation appears, not to take anything from you, but to return you to a new life. Breathe in deeply, Cancer. You have moved from dependency to silence, from truth to soul love, from darkness to light. And now you stand at the very threshold of your rebirth. This is not an ending. It is the beginning of your next chapter, a chapter where you are no longer the same person. This is the sacred molting of your soul. You are shedding the old shell that carried so many hurts, the one that became too small for the magnificent being you have become. You are not a fragile heart. You have become a soul who has passed through the trials, who knows how to love by the light of your own being, and who is ready to step fully into your true magnificent destiny. This transformation is not here to sow fear, but to affirm that you have come full circle. The old has dissolved. The sorrows, the heavy memories, the scars on your heart, all have completed their roles. They no longer bind you. They have become the wings that will now carry you forward. This is the door the universe is holding open for your rebirth. You will never be the same again. You are not the soul who collapsed in the silence. You are not the heart that gave until it was empty. Now you are a soul matured by the darkness, knowing that loss did not make you smaller, but made you deeper, more compassionate, and more radiant. Feel this with every part of your being, Cancer. You are no longer the wounded one. You are the soul who holds the key to a new destiny. The death of the past is a sacred exchange, allowing you to receive a real, authentic love, a love that does not bind you with the old cords, but frees you to step into a future that is brighter than you ever imagined. If your soul feels awakened by this journey, we have shared Seal Your Choice with a like. Share this message so that its light may reach another Cancer who needs this reminder. And subscribe as a sacred covenant with your soul that you will never walk this path alone again. I want to offer my deepest, most humble thanks to you for sitting here with me, for listening not only with your ears, but with your entire heart. Know that you are not alone on this journey. The universe upholds you, the divine watches over you, and every tear you have shed has been counted, and transformed into the strength you now carry. I pray that you enter this new chapter with faith, with peace, and with a love that asks for nothing but your authentic light in return. Lift your head, gentle Cancer. Ahead of you is the light. Ahead of you is a beginning that no one can ever take from you.